All knotted up, and we head to a third map. Trick managed to take back Nuke. It was their map choice, and they did it, I won't say with ease, but in style nonetheless. Second pistol certainly made things better for them, switching over to the CT side, and they did get a bit of a comeback in the first half.
I think this matchup right now is going according to the script that we were trying to paint before the game started. So, not surprising really that we were ending up in a third map. Actually, quite similar games to the opening game that this matchup had in the first day of the tournament.
Yeah.
But I think that the big thing, or big takeaway for me, is that VP definitely lacking a lot of finesse on the map. I think a good example of that was a round where they took over ramp, they got a kill over there, and then had a guy who mollied to underneath heaven, and then got a guy who smoked underneath heaven at the same time, obviously nullifying one another. But then once they actually went downstairs, they didn't have anything to use to block the angles at the bomb site itself. So they got picked apart by an AWP one by one. So just a little example of the finesse that they were lacking.
It's crazy, but that is a good example because one small bit of utility can open up such a window of opportunity on the other side of the map. And it's such a simple thing, but yet we see it fairly commonly with these sort of tier 2 teams or newer rosters, certainly.
I think we've seen it a lot with VP, and especially here in Nuke. I think it was a great example. When you look at the map and when you look at how it unfolded, I think VP had plenty of chances to take this one. Both pistol rounds, they at least the first one they could have won. The second one they definitely should have won. There was a 2 versus 1. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Potentially the worst 1 versus 2 I've ever seen being played out after playing scenario like that. No, it was like really outrageously bad. So that one, that's gonna sting a little bit. That's gonna hurt. As you said, there was plenty of rounds where it was leaning towards VP, but Trick played a solid game of Counter-Strike. So they were just too good in that sense. I don't think Trick played well in other fashion, right? They played just okay, and okay was enough to beat VP on this map, and that's a little bit scary moving into Train, because if Trick wakes up and plays some good Counter-Strike, then I'm gonna start lean more and more towards Trick.
I think Trick waking up, first map, again, looked pretty good from Virtus Pro. Trick got back into it. Trick obviously took this one. We were mentioning Bubsky coming into this. He was on the list for potentially the HLTV MVP for this event.
Still are.
He still is, but was really slow to get started in the first half of this one. I think that was a big difference maker.
He started out with 3 facts, I believe, but ended up with 15, 16 or something along those lines. So he had a good second half of the game, and that's also, some character shown by a very young guy. He used to play in some Danish decent teams. He was playing for what they call the team with Dragonfly and all those guys in Denmark.
I mean, you're the Dane here. Another team that wouldn't pick you, okay?
Yeah, sure. Haha. Tracksters, they're called, yeah. They played fine.
He doesn't frag, so it makes sense.
I mean, that makes sense, I got picked to be at this desk, and I'm okay with that.
All right, thank you.
Anyway, what I was saying was Fraxters, a team that has played on big stages before. They were at Starlight as well, doing some good work. So Bobsky has tried it before. So the fact that he's able to show some character as an individual, having a horrible first half, but still fighting back and making sure his team win the maps despite him having a bad performance, that's a good sign for a young guy like that.
Yeah, it is difficult to do on a stage.
And on Nuke, T side also, you easily end up having bad halves, right? So it's good that you can pick it up, and then on CT side of Nuke, obviously, like Jacob was saying, nothing phenomenal or extraordinary was really required for Trick. They were just playing good, solid Counter-Strike.
Well, and the good news is they win the map, so it doesn't matter so much in that regard for Bubsky. Now that puts them on a position to potentially steal the tournament back from Virtus Pro, who opened up the series with a win. We had to Train to decide it. It's a bit of a different battlefield, very different from Nuke, but certainly even from the opener in this series in Mirage. So it does create different dynamics for certainly hoppers, for lanes, for utility. Outside is a site all to itself. I've often said this. Train is one of the tightest maps on the pool. People are often misled because there's no direct roof over top of it, but it's some very narrow choke points.
I would agree, and I'm looking very much forward to see what kind of pace is coming out from the team who starts on the T side. Because Train is a map that normally you'd say you do a lot of defaults, you play slow, you end up doing an execute towards inner, or you do an execute towards outside, but you can put a lot of pace towards Train. You can really try to force the fights in the beginning of the rounds, especially towards the connector area. You can even rush outside if you want to, you can even rush inside if you want to. There's so many different angles you can take on a map like Train. So whoever gets to start on the T side and sets the pace, I'm interested to see if that's going to be fast or it's going to be slow.
Yeah, I feel like a player like Acor should be sitting well in a map like Train, a player who can dictate the pace of the game, basically, either slow it down for the T's or be the guy who's just taking fast peaks, making a man advantage very, very early on in the game. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to how he does, and if VP is going to be ready to try and nullify him.
The old VP, again, we're going back to a core that was made up of 4 out of or four different players than the one in Snacks that we still have, was one of the first teams to coin the meta on this map, though. Certainly one of the teams that used to utilize Ivy to the point where now it's almost stale. It's gone default because teams had to put more attention to it on the CT side. That opened up a lot of the map elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, VP was known to have that plow effect on this map, where basically they would overwhelm you from Pop, from Team Main, and Ivy simultaneously. They did it so effectively and with such good pacing and timing that it just became almost impossible for CT to do anything about. But that's a very different VP from the one we know now.
Trick did say that they were going to be a wall and Virtus Pro would run into them. We'll see if the plow is sharp enough. One map is all that separates championships on this stage between Tricked and Virtus Pro. V4 Future Sports, Budapest, Hungary. Final map. It's Jason and Anders to bring you the action on Train.
Thank you so much, Matt. This is where it all comes down to now. On Train, between these two really impressive teams. One map each. First Mirage, then Nuke, and now we'll see how this all plays out. Knife round to decide who starts on what side. Tricked and Virtus Pro.
I think the best part is these teams have just been so incredibly aggressive. Like they've not really been too scared. There's been some fast-paced rounds. There's been crazy action. I mean, that's going to make for an exciting clash in this final map. And for both of these teams coming into this, you know, a lot of the conversation was, can they beat MIBR? Can they beat Mousesports? Can they beat NIP? And now they're both playing for the trophy, which is spectacular. This is both of these teams reaching a level at this event that no one really expected, and one of them is taking this trophy home.
Yeah, there really can be only one here towards the end. Very curious. Virtus Pro on the T side. Tricked won the 9th round. They're going to be starting on the CT side, and you get off to a good start. We've seen it time and again. If you're on that CT side, you can get so many rounds. You can block almost all early aggression with grenades, and that AWP on A core, surely that's the dream right now for Tricked.
Yeah, and on the reverse side of things, it's especially for the T side, if you can control the money situation early, you delay how fast that AWP can come out, you delay how fast the Molotovs, it keeps your playbook wide open for the early stages, and you can really rack up some rounds. And Virtus Pro, we saw them do it on Mirage, couldn't really manage it too much on Nuke, although it was a grindy monetary battle early on. And here, they need a hot start. 4 players, actually all 5 players heading towards the center bomb site. They might just rush this. They might just straight up go fast, but they stop. They look for the aggression at upper ramp.
Or if they go down that ramp and Hunden has that 1 HE grenade.
Especially with Shush at the back as well.
That would be devastating. 2 of them don't have armor. It looks like they might go for a little bit more of a spread out kind of play. They're going to be throwing in the Molotovs in the smoke right about now. That HE grenade.
Wait, they're boosting to push Shush away from this angle. They could actually spot this out.
Yeah, they could. The triple, he falls back off now. I'm just waiting for this 1 HE. Look at that, Bubsky pushing up on the other side. They know something is up. He's still got the pin pulled. He's still ready for it. 1 smoke, and he's not budging yet. There's the grenade, and it's way too early. A big relief for Virtus Pro as now they come down the ramp, but the headshot from the USP will do a lot of damage, pushing through the fire in. Mihu and PHR, 2 great return kills up at the high ground. It's Roy to go down, and Shush is still here. And he has been a hero so far. The flank coming in, and Bobsky can't get it done. Shush, I don't think he's going to be up for this. Even with all of the impressive kills that he's got so far in the tournament, this feels like a step too far. An ace in the pistol to try and clutch it. He hasn't got any kit picked up right now and just needs to find someone. He's finally picked up the kit there, but again, they're everywhere. He might even just do better to back off here, even though it does feel a little bit bad in the pistol round. Yeah, now they're swarming him, and Virtus Pro picking up the first round here in the final map of the Grand Finals.
I can add that they ran right into the stack. The question that Matt just put before he threw to us was, can the plow sharp enough to get through the wall of Tricked? And that round, they had the flank, they had the information, they had 4 players defending the center bomb site. I think this was the big mistake right here. That follow-up kill on Acor, who's pushing through the Molotov as well. You have a flank coming in. Be happy to sit far back and just make sure that they cannot push down the lanes. Keep them isolated, keep them back at the bomb train while that flank comes to fruition.
And since you're all there anyway, you don't even have to worry that much about the bomb going down. You're going to have a lot of time to try and go for that retake.
Yes.
Well, they invest into the round, double scout, MP9, and Deagles. So by no means an easy round for Virtus Pro. They still have to be very careful here. Smoke. Oh, Snatchy, he must get the kill, but he can't. Shush will take him down, and the follow-up, they flash their way through. That might have been the perfect move. Veggie will take one down in a stunning headshot to take down Hunden. Long range, the whole distance of this inner yard. But a grenade will actually drop him. The bomb at least was planted. Another flank coming in. The Deagle up close, and Roy, he gets the kill, but they've lost Acor in the meantime. Now a 2-on-2, and Tricked, can they find their way through here? They don't have a kid right now. Down there on the low ground is Roy dead, and Mihu will find it. And once again, they shut down Tricked. Virtus Pro close to losing that round.
That was sketchy, and that was very similar to the round that they lost on Nuke to all USPs, trying to force their way through a very narrow choke point. This one is Snatchy coming through the smoke. That pop flash that followed up, that was so perfect. That might have been the saving grace. They needed that first kill, and they needed it quickly. Another fast flank coming in from Roy. But Virtus Pro, that was win condition number one, obviously, is get the money control early, delay the AWP, delay the Molotovs, and they're doing just that. All USPs, no real investment. Actually, excuse me, one Deagle picked up from Shush.
Yeah, a lot working out right now. Even if some of these rounds are close, you're absolutely right. It does put a bit of a break on the AWP.
Did Snatchy not see that stuff? I thought he actually would have been able to spot one. Either way, Snacks is all the way down. He's just going to eliminate him, and he turns the corner. He sees two more. Bonus money picked up in spectacular fashion. 2 kills in response. But that's the round. Now, here's the thing. A Krieg in the hands of Shush, I feel like he might just want to save it. You're in a 2-on-2, and you could go for this, but now you've got an AK-47 and a Krieg.
Yes.
Take that as a victory. That's actually a huge win for a team that's going to be economically struggling in the next round. What a benefit for them, and Virtus Pro lost some valuable lives. And they've done it in a couple of these rounds to follow up on the pistol, so the money is not going to be great for the VP side. Trick has done as well as you possibly can in losing the pistol round.
Yeah, you have to agree with that. I definitely don't think they should have gone for in a 2-on-2. Without armor and a kit, even though it feels like in that moment, you're like, oh, we're getting kills quickly, but the time it takes you to get there and then have a fight afterwards, definitely not worth it. 3-0 for Virtus Pro, but yeah, with a bit of an asterisk to that last win, especially. Shush, because of the Krieg, actually, not even sure he has to, but yeah, they could just drop an AWP if they needed to. Acor will have one, Bubsky will have another one. Double AWP straight into the 4th round.
All right, then.
Playing that card early on.
Yeah. And because of the 2 saved weapons, Molotovs and smokes and 2 kits. Tricked has brought everything they could out of this, and this looks fast-paced. Snatchy with the AWP as well. There's a Molotov, a good shot from Bubsky. That's Snatchy down, that's the AWP down. Mihu's gained an advanced position, but he's the only one who can do anything at the moment. And I think he just wants to bail out of the fight. AWP is going to remain on the ground. Mihu's at least in safety for the moment.
You could easily see how that position for Mihu would have been huge if Snatchy had got the kill in return, but yeah, falls back. Smoke, Veggie, actually he's behind it.
That's not a good smoke. That's gone too far.
And it could backfire because Trick might just think, well, it's all, yeah, that almost happens right there. Now at least they're aware of it. Bubsky coming in with the AWP. Not going to get the shot, but that's 2 AWPs at Ivy.
Yeah, that'll be called out as well. But unfortunately for VP, they already have 2 players here. Smoke on each side of Ivy. A small gap, and that one as well is going to give Acor an easy shot. Bomb is picked up, but Virtus Pro just bleeding players, and they can't afford this. In terms of their manpower, in terms of their money going forward into the next round, Snacks a stunning headshot. Needs more. Information gathered on top of the train. He's going to go back. He wants to make sure his prey is still there. Another headshot. Snacks is fighting back.
That was a beautiful pre-fire. He absolutely read that. And that one, the first kill on Bubsky, that's one of the AWPs gone. Acor is the other one. If they lose both in this round, even if they win it, that's a lot of economy gone. He's got the right idea with 25 seconds, and this is the bomb as well. If he dies on this corner, there's really no bringing it back. Mihu avoids the danger, but gets shot down afterwards, and now it's all done. A big round, especially out of Acor with that triple. They can't save the other AWP, so still losing a bit.
I think they should be all right. VP, if their buys in the previous maps have been any indication, they're going to buy again here despite not having great money. This one was tough. Just so many players lost to the AWPs. The first 3 kills of the round go to the double up setup on the Trick side of things. Virtus Pro's going to have to be careful about that one. And they do show some restraints with their economy, which is surprising. Deagle's picked up 1 flashbang.
It is surprising, but maybe a nice change of pace. PHR actually taking down Roy, and Aiko looked like he almost, I think, scroll wheel jumped there and giving in badly. Not cool.
Oh, the Molotov forcing Snacks into the open, and Hunden doing a great job. He played great on Nuke, and that's a good start here on Train. A missed shot for Acor, and he can't handle it. Veggie's got 1. A clean headshot here would be spectacular. Oh, it's Miu from behind. A 1-on-2, the gun's still in the hands, and Bubsky wants to back away. He wants to get into some relative safety, and he nails the shot. The second op can get picked up as well.
Oh.
Why
Juggling them at the end, a little bit of miscommunication.
Why did Shush just make him do the work?
I don't know, but it
He just
worked
stopped. He was like, yeah, you bring it to me.
Yeah, and trying to show him who's the boss, I guess. That was a very uncomfortable round, surely, for Tricked. Didn't really need to be. Still, it's 3-2. And VP, because of that conservative buy the last time, just a couple of deagles, they could maybe do a little bit more here.
Tech timeout, maybe that had something to do with Shush just not moving.
Oh, that could be an explanation.
Yeah, maybe something happened. I don't know. Maybe twisted an ankle.
Yeah, we thought he was just being a dick.
Well, we haven't counted that out. It's still a possibility. Speaking of which, though, Roy, not Dix. We got the information when we went back between the maps that this is actually his first stage match on a LAN of this size. Like, he's played at some smaller LANs in Poland, obviously, but this is the biggest event that he's been to.
You can't really tell from his playstyle, can you?
No, he's been fine. He's been doing very, very well.
Yeah, I've got to say that's not always easy to do. Even players that have a little bit of hype behind them, and you know that they have like a high skill ceiling. Sometimes that first LAN is brutal, and I don't know, he's done very well for himself, I would say. 6th round. Walking into the flashbang, that could have been lethal, but he's going to be fine for now. Taking that fight, the AK on top. It's a lot of damage, and he walks into the headshot. Snacks patiently waiting, a big kill.
I think Snacks really set that up quite nicely. I was even surprised. I would have done probably the same thing as Roy, because I was like, double flash down ladder in that fashion. Why is he not coming? He went and peeked for the information. Hunden's moved into his spot, and he's taken control, and the Ops are still just decimating this Virtus Pro attack. They cannot get out of this choke point. They cannot get across the yard and get even close to the bomb train. And now with these kills with this advantage, Trick can just sink farther back, although no one's watching. Attention was taken away. Acor eliminated for free, and there's 45 seconds for Virtus Pro to make this work.
That shot from Shush, though, that makes it almost impossible. PHR, he needs a mistake. The bomb is quite far back. He would have to trek back to T main, pick up the bomb, and then fight his way back to a bomb site. It seems very unlikely. Goes for it, but Shush long range. Again, he's been unbelievably accurate throughout this tournament. He's 8-2 right now, and Bubsky is one of the other MVP contenders over there at 7-3. And you're right, that double AWP setup right now is wrecking Virtus Pro. There are solutions to that, though.
Well, I have to imagine the next time, because the Ops outside have destroyed VP, what, three times now? It's essentially been 3 rounds straight for Tricked. I have to imagine that Virtus Pro and their next buy are going to go towards the inner bomb site.
Either go towards the inner bomb site or try and see if you could put down a wall of smokes. Although they actually had smokes towards the bomb train itself that last round, and Bubsky just pushed through and got a kill on somebody. So that's kind of the problem with people like Acor and Bubsky here, is that they might not respect those smokes at all. This round, obviously, just pistols and no armor. It's a good kill on Hunden. And that's pretty much the only one they're going to get as well. Tricked taking the lead on CT side. Train 4-3. Now Virtus Pro are back with some money.
Snatchy with that ult, but it's been ineffective on this T side when he's had it. 1-7 for him to start the half. Obviously not all of those with the AWP in his hands.
Was it?
And the problem now on top of the double op setup is because the money is so solid for Tricked, they also have the Molotov. So even if you want to get out mid with some kind of a fast execute with the smokes in place, it's like you have to run through flames, you have to run through flashbangs, and it's all a bit of a nightmare. Tactical right at the end of freeze time coming out from the Danish side.
You know, Virtus Pro in that pistol, they tried, I mean, they canceled it, but they tried to go for that triple boost.
Yeah.
Now they have an AWP.
Yeah, they could just go right back for it.
Feels like one of those things that, you know, especially because you didn't even show it in the pistol round. You've practiced it. You can set it up perhaps easily.
I think, I mean, the interesting thing about it, we saw it in the pistol round, and it looked like it would have been effective if they went for it. But that's something where you play in that position on the pistol round from the CT side because the chances of that is just so low.
Yeah.
And especially even if you're there and they do the triple boost, the chances that they just kill you immediately before you can get away is still even lower than that. With an AWP, obviously, with the rounds where they have guns, I think Tricked is going to be aware of the possibility.
Eighth round here. What could they do, Virtus Pro? Try and shut down Tricked. A very aggressive push into T main. Even just the information here, that's going to be annoying. I mean, they will have heard that Virtus Pro on the other side as well, sort of saying, yeah, well, you know what, we just heard all those grenades. That means either you almost have to go back and look. They're keeping one guy back at least, but...
I think he's going to be the throw utility for a fake outside because they've thrown some from above ladder, and I think they want that last player's utility to be the sealing or the deciding fate. Shush with an off angle, and it's good trade for Mihu. Into the bomb site we go, and the AWP can't really do anything. Molotov, oh, Snatchy needs to hold that position. That should be a freebie, and that's a disastrous miss.
It really is. Mihu goes down, PHR next. And now Snacks, 1 versus 3. He's had a great tournament, but he can't win this one. Hunden takes him down for a double instead. And Tricked now, 5 rounds. That really can't happen.
Well, Snatchy has to hit that shot.
Yeah.
I'm even curious of why he even bothered moving down the ramp to the train. You could have just sat on the ramp. It seemed like he had to rush that because he wasn't quite ready for the swing. 5-3. But that's, you know, you see the power of you're going to get to that double up of getting to that inner bomb site. You get the bomb planted, you can play the post plant, and if the shots are hit, if you gain that traction by trading off the opening kill, you have very strong positions to prevent them from rotating into a good spot. And that's where the ops can be unwieldy. Now, Tricked has dropped one of the AWPs and gone down to a single op on A-core.
I think if you replay that round, there's definitely also a world in which Shush just gets 2 kills right off the bat and falls back around the corner, because that position was really lethal. Hard to spot as you're coming into the bomb side. But again, go for the aggression in the T main.
And also enjoying the tactical diversity of this Tricked defense. I think that's the first time we've seen that level of a crunch towards that T choke point with all the utility, the nades and the smokes. Doesn't pan out for them. They don't find anything from it except for information. They know it's clear.
And all of this running back and forth up here, I mean, they can hear that down in the yard, so again, just worried. Looks like almost a replay of the last round so far, at least.
I think it's because they had the success they wanted. They were like, that actually worked. We got into the bomb site, we got the plant down. We just messed up individually. So let's go back to it one more time. I think one of the dangers of them running this strategy as they did in a pistol, it's taking so long to come to fruition.
It's a slight twitch, though. This time they're going to put 3 men upper. Shush, is he going to be ready for it? He has the perfect idea. The great weapon for it. Instant headshot as Roy will take down PHR. And that is not what they were looking for, Virtus Pro. Headshot brings it back a bit. The bomb goes down with about 38 seconds, and Hunden has to fall back. Long range spray, but Mihu is dropped, and now Snatchy and Snacks. It's on them. 2 versus 4. A heroic stand if they can bring this round home. That would actually bring Virtus Pro back into this first half here. But otherwise, they've lost a lot of rounds in a row here. And Snatchy caught by Shush, a 3rd kill for him. And now it's Snacks. 1 versus 4. How could you even dream of doing it? You can't. With Shush picking up that 4th kill. And again, probably feels like still in the lead for that MVP. We'll have to do all the math, or I guess HLTV will have to do it, but he's 13-3 right now.
He played that round just about perfectly. It's rare you could say that, but that might have been a perfect round from him, considering 4 kills and across the entirety. He was the one who got the first frag when they entered into the bomb site from the upper ramp, backing away, barely takes any damage, and he just comes back and destroys everyone. And VP calling a timeout, and you can understand why. Nothing going for them since winning the pistol in the ensuing 2 rounds. They have no answer for the double op. And now you have Shush coming online at 13-3.
And Snatchy at 1-1-9. He has had the AWP a couple of times, and we haven't seen the effect out of it. He's been amazing otherwise. throughout the tournament, but now they really desperately need him. That's actually kind of a classic way to turn things around on the T side of Train, is just to have the AWP find one opening, like an early battle somewhere that you win, and then you plan from there.
Yeah, well, you win that early battle, and then the AWP can play a bit more passively and supportive as you take the rest of the map control based off that opening pick, but they haven't even gotten to that point.
And now look, Ivy aggression. You mentioned the sort of versatility in the defense here on the Tricked side, and a couple of rounds aggressive teammate, now Ivy.
Well, and again, the aggression in Ivy isn't really going to pan out. No one going there from Virtus.pro. It looks like they're all setting up to use utility dump outside, set up the wall, and attack the bomb site. But Roy in this position, we know it's so strong for the CT side, and now he's aware of the possibility. Gun drop down, and he's not phased. Bubsky eliminating everyone. Finally, some kills come out for Virtus.pro, but is it enough?
Well, with Hunden sneaking this far up, it actually might not be. Mihu is really just seconds away from going down. He's probably waiting for the distraction over at B, but that's not going to come, and that's the bomb confirmed. So now they can all gather in that A yard, and if he hadn't got flanked, maybe there could have been time for Snacks to come in with a big kill, but yeah, they definitely know what's up. Or maybe not. He's actually looking the wrong way. Yeah. Oh, he checks it a little bit.
He's trying to go for the win, right? He's the guy who like makes the play that can get everyone on your team jacked up and have them in the right mindset, and he knows that's a free kill, yeah, but it would give away your position. He's going for the victory entirely.
The problem is as well the time. 25 seconds from the time now if he gets the first kill, even then, how do you get the last three? Or just put the bomb down even, and Hunden is really quick. A nice flick, a good double for him once again. Tricked way in the lead now. It's 7-3, and there's a slight sinking feeling now if you're on that VP side. That's a lot of rounds, 7 in a row. Tricked.
Yeah, this T side has not looked great so far. VP yet to find a winning recipe here. And when I saw Pimp with a tweet saying that, Tricked, quote unquote, the 5th best team in Denmark. I don't know how true that is, but certainly they're not in the top 3.
Top 1. They are looking really good. I've really enjoyed watching them unfold here over the last couple of months, and yeah, every time I see them, I'm just reminded of why they're a fun team. And again, the potential for some of these players, it's so high if you think about how short a while they actually have been playing the game.
Now here's the crazy thing, because we've been making this sound like a lot of doom and gloom for Virtus.pro, and for good reason, but the fact that they win the pistol and they have 3 rounds on the board from that, if they can just win 1 or 2 more, if they could just reset the economy once, then all of a sudden you're having a very good T-half. That's the benefit of winning the pistol on this T side of Train. You don't need a whole lot more, but you do need something more.
They've stolen an AWP, and that is a pretty good start. Can they find anything at all with it, though?
I wish they were being more proactive with it, trying to find some fights. You see them all sunk back towards, back towards the garbage cans, back towards T-spawn, setting up for utility, perhaps. They do have 2 smokes, a Molotov, and a bunch of flashbangs, but they don't really have the weaponry to make this kind of just a straight-up brawl outside. You really want that off to find you a pick. Good job from Hunden. He's had a stellar game so far. He's going to be traded off.
Roy is low from that earlier fight, but he wins it against Snacks. That's a huge part of the flank gone. The bomb now on the ground. So close for Virtus.pro, getting in on the bomb side and getting that AWP, but it is not going to be enough. Tricked 8-3. They survived that round, not giving anything back. Now Virtus.pro. You mentioned breaking the economy and maybe finding a way back in the game. Now is the time for it.
The chances to break the economy are running out. We're just so late in the half now that, it's going to take at least, 2 wins to break the economy, and from there, you don't even really get the benefits of finally shattering it. But you're right. It must basically start at this point. Virtus.pro down 5 in this 3rd map of the Grand Finals.
And just not uncommon for some of these teams that have newer lineups, that playing best of 3s is very hard to get a deep map pool. Very hard to find 3 maps that you're going to be consistently good on, and they've looked great all across the board here, but T-side is lacking something right now. It's also difficult because Bubsky and Shush are putting on a fantastic first half, so they're also having to deal with that issue all on their own.
Yeah, those two players playing great. Acor with the op being effective, and the big one for me is just Hunden, the impact he's providing. Even though it's not like a completely dominant performance from him, just the rounds where he gets his double kills, they're so impactful. And a new look defense as well. This time, no one even over towards Ivy. They're watching it from aggressive positions towards ladder and T-mid, which means this hit, even though it's powerful with 3 players, there's no one here that they can really take out. Hunden's got a perfect position for a headshot. That's a great flashbang. But I don't think they're going to clear him out. Hunden's got the first. There goes Mihu running through the flames. And once again, the defense from Trick stands tall. Virtus Pro is locked out of this bomb site. And they're making it look easy. 9 in a row for Tricked.
What a shutdown this is. Acor has 5 kills, but everybody else on the Trick side is in double digits, and nobody from VP's side is. Now we're starting to see that one of the issues here is kills. They need to actually put up some frags in some of these rounds, or they're going to continuously be in trouble here. Time for a real deep breath here on the VP side. They've played a great tournament, but it could all come crashing down here.
Well, this is also the next progression of teams at this level. Now that they've shown us that they can get to this point and beat some teams like MIBR, like the Mouse Sports, like the NIP, it's developing the map pool. Great off angle from Roy. That is a stunning transfer. And they have used that position at E-Box with impunity in this half. Very rarely has Virtus Pro been able to clear that out. We've seen Hunden be effective there. Now Roy.
He was controlling the recoil while strafing. I don't even think that should be allowed. Snatchy and Snacks now 2-on-5, and they don't even get a kill here. Bubsky with a double, 10-3. That coach on Trick, what did he say? They're going to run into a wall. That's what this feels like.
It's prophetic. He's exactly right. It's a strong wall.
Yeah, it definitely is. Not one of those American-built plaster walls. There's a European
those weak, cheap things.
Brick wall. Timeout being called. I'm really having a hard time figuring out. You mentioned a while ago that B-bomb site seems like the one where they've had the most success.
Well, let's be honest. They haven't necessarily had success there, but they've at least had
a strong word.
Yeah, they've had like the seeds of it, right? They've at least gotten in and got the bomb planted. When they're going outside, they're not even getting to the bomb train. At least when you go inside, you get a bomb planted.
There were some crumbs left on the ground over at the B-bomb side that they managed to pick up and eat, and that was good.
Yeah.
But still starving on the VP side.
And the problem now is now you have Trick that's going to be confident. You have Trick that's going to start being aggressive, and Hunden in this position when he feels no pressure and when he peeks down and sees nothing, I think you'll start to eventually see someone cheat over a third player to that inner bomb site. There's no pressure from ladder room, which Roy's had to deal with a couple of times.
Bush going to be up the ladder before they get there. Huge off angle, very hard if you're coming in, especially because the Acor's going to be here. That's a nasty setup, isn't it? They come down the low ground instead, but still a 2-for-1 trade. Favoring Trick, deep Molotov there. Could definitely do some damage, at least forces them out behind. The bomb goes down. Again, the B-bomb side just seems more reasonable, but still not enough to actually make it around, as Mihu is alone with no armor and pretty much no real estate to occupy here in the back of the bomb site. He gets a kill on Hunden, but he's still completely and utterly trapped and trying to fight his way out. That's pretty much what he has to do, actually. It's just not really his... can't be his job alone, can it?
No, but I mean, if you're Virtus Pro, the thing you have to change about this inner hit is you can see how Trick is playing it passively far back. And, yeah, they had the Krieg up close that gets eliminated. But even when VP's getting that bomb planted, they don't have anywhere to go after that because the rotations come in and then you have the AWP and then you have the AUGs or the Kriegs scoped in and peering down those lanes. You need to throw someone on the flank. You need to put someone at Ivy to wrap behind him to try and backstab. Or you need to get aggressive with your utility and the choke points and push forward and leave the bomb planter to get the plant. The other players need to get forward and get in their faces in the choke point. Trick has just allowed too much room to work with on these retakes.
That's a huge feature of it. Now they run in the Molotov, the AWP of Acor. They don't even make it out of main. They had a clear plan, they followed through, but again, the kills, all of them right now, are going Trick's way here. This is a disaster in the 15th round, and nobody has gone down on the Danish side. Instead, it's just Snacks in a 1 versus 5. A 12-3 finish in the first half that's monstrous. You win the pistol and the following 2 rounds, and then you get absolutely cleaned out. I don't think I've seen that in a very long time.
No.
What were some of the teams that were really good? I mean, SK at a point in time were mental on train CT side.
They also had like a 17 map win streak on this, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or something like that. They had one of the more impressive win streaks on a map that we've had in CSGO.
Wow. A-Core with the triple. And that's the end of the half.
A statement half. That's a championship winning half of Counter-Strike that we just saw out of Tricked.
And it's so interesting because there's even a world in which they could have won the first map on Mirage. So we're even learning something about Trick's map pool, which is exciting all on its own. How long before we see these guys play routinely against the likes of MIBR, Mouse Sports, NIP, and even beyond that? That would be very, very interesting.
Listen, I mean, playing like this, if they're doing that throughout the end of the year and into the early stages of next year, they're going to win some qualifiers to be at the big Tier 1 events as well. And that's where we'll really get to see them tested. But this has been a really cool, impressive showing. All 5 players for Tricked now in double digits. And for VP, it's just Mihu.
Really not enough. Hunden, smile on his face though.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be smiling? Have a good time up there.
I saw earlier that Cadian's mom is watching and is cheering for Hunden specifically. Which is a great little moment in Danish Counter-Strike. Apparently she's a big supporter, so...
Of Danish Counter-Strike?
I think of Hunden specifically.
Okay.
On his side, that's nice.
That is nice.
Do you want Cadian back as well in Danish Counter-Strike, by the way, in a more forceful way?
Or just back in general in Counter-Strike.
Just back in general,
He played, what team did he play with at the London major that he was playing on like an NA roster? He came over, he's the one with Hiko.
Yeah, he did, and actually they did really well.
Well, again, really well might be a bit of a strong phrasing.
Well, considering what they had to work with.
Yeah, there's that. You're right with that one. But I mean, definitely he was in game leading, and they had some very cool ideas and tactics. So
yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing Cadian back in play.
Plus, he's just an all-round great guy. So
it's got to be tough being a player in Danish Counter-Strike. You want to talk about a scene that is just saturated with so many good players. Like, how are you supposed to find a Danish team to join?
We do have it tough. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a good problem to have.
Oh man, 12-3 at the end of the half in the grand finals on the final map. I don't know what kind of conversation VP could even have to make that sound good. You need some really serious spin. Need a lot of lying, basically.
Yeah, I wonder if Kuban could actually sell it. He doesn't strike me as a good liar. He doesn't have the face for it.
I think it's the honest truth, isn't it?
Well, here we go. What does Virtus Pro have? 3-12 backs against the wall. They must have this pistol round.
A lot of USPs. Smoke here on Mihu. They're going to come right through shortly. They don't stop for that. The Glock train coming through. Veggie, big shot, but A-Core and Roy returning. And that's what those Glocks can do. Snacks doing his best at defending this. They're right behind him, and somehow they come out on top. It looked like Snacks should have had more than just a couple of kills there. Ooh. Long range, and PHR taking care of Roy. He is out of the round. And now it's Hunden versus PHR. 1 versus 1. And Hunden has the bomb. He is spotted, but he heard that shot surely. How do you play this? And PHR, I mean, this is the first step. He must win this clutch. And Hunden is not even stopping, is he? He is just speeding into the bomb site. Bomb immediately down. And then backing off. Is he going to try and go up the ladder? That's a big risk, but he's around the corner. And PHR will not be happy about that. Could he go and find? He's not even sure. Oh. I don't think he saw him.
No, he didn't see him at all. He has no idea where Hunden is.
That's a problem. No kid. 10 seconds on the low ground. PHR knows now, and Hunden, he's playing tricks with him. Time is running out. It may have already run out. He gets the kill. I don't think he can actually defuse it.
No.
Outplayed by God Hunden in the pistol round. And I mean, if it wasn't bad already, it certainly is now.
Yeah, the odds of coming back in this were already low, and they just plummeted even further, and everyone on Trick knows it. Look at the smiles on their faces. All Trick has to do now is not lose the game themselves. They're the only ones who can beat themselves at this point.
Feels like they have to put in an effort, right? They've got to actively try to mess this up. I am liking this. That's 4 HE grenades, 3 scouts. That's a lot of fire on VP. I kind of want this to work.
Well, there's one nade in. Snack's going to take the deep angle, sees nothing. Transfers over to get the other scout in play as well. Still nothing for Snacks. There's a shot. He does tag up A-Core.
Good start.
I mean, with this many scouts in the nades as well, which have pretty much all been used, Mihu still has one, but with this many scouts, I like this call. I think Trick had to have seen both of those scouts in the outer yard, and they're doing basically like it's a double up setup, kind of what we mentioned in the first half to counter that amount of sniper rifles, and it's even harder to make work with scouts because they're more mobile, but it's not a one-shot kill.
Chance for hilarity here if Snatchy gets the mid-air headshot. They're running up the sidewalk, though, and immediate dink to take him down. PHR turning 360 to try and get more than a double. Still a very impressive hold, but Veggie coming in, taking down Roy, and then immediately dropping Snacks now. 1 versus 2. The bomb is going to be planted, and that scout, even being up on the train right now, is dangerous. Flashbang. Going to do a little bit of damage with the follow-up UMP there. He's moving closer, and he's picked up an AK-47. Again, every time VP is close to winning a round, it's a question of trying to clutch it, and he's going to get the kill on Bubsky, but still A-Core left.
This is way too strong of a position. He can do exactly what Hunter did, but the smoke might help, but it's going to have to be a 10-second defuse, and he's just going to have to smoke the bomb and stick it.
Yeah, you might be right. Hold it down and pray. No, he's come out of it already. And that, he needed the kill at least immediately. A-Core will be there, a triple, surviving on almost no health at all. 14 rounds, 4 tricked. And just, there's so many clutches in this game that have gone the way of tricked. And it feels like all the time it's sort of a, 2 versus 1.
Yeah.
Like VP have to fight uphill every single time.
I mean, that's the product of, the openings from their T side obviously just didn't look that strong. They never really found any footholds in the bomb sites anyways to progress into the bomb sites. This is kind of how it turns out. And VP, you can understand, no reason to criticize. They just have to buy every single round to try and turn one in their favor and see what happens from there.
It feels like when you get to this point, there are no mistakes, right?
Yeah.
whatever.
There's no right or wrong anymore.
Yeah, just feels like do whatever feels good and just hope that that's going to be the right answer. 14-3. 2 very close first maps, and then this. Snacks forced off the angle. No connection on the first dink. There's a little bit of damage on the shush, but they're on the site. Jumping shot. Don't know if the first one was, but Snacks takes down Shush anyway.
Well,
Bomb delayed, and actually quite for a long time.
I think it's fine though, because look at what Trick has done. This is what Virtus Pro is never able to do. They've gotten aggressive down the lanes. It's not panning out just yet, but it can still be so effective. The scouts though, chiming in. A retake is on.
It is, through the smoke. Veggie finding his 3rd kill, Bubsky. Surely there's nothing you could do at this point in time. They've smoked it off. He does pick up one, keeps spraying through. And that defuse, if he had got the kill on him, that would have been very dangerous. But Veggie with the quad kill instead. And a 14-4 scoreline Virtus Pro. I don't know. They've pulled the cord on that backup parachute, but it's like 50 meters above ground. I don't know if that's actually going to make a difference.
What a ridiculous shot to hit the first time around. Nice job from Veggie. And yeah, those scouts far back just peppering shots through the smoke. Even that one through the smoke with the AK. And Tricks with a 14-4 lead. I like this. We all like this. No reason to invest. You have such a big lead, 10 rounds. Just make sure every single buy that you bring out is the strongest possible. Wait for the AK-47. Spend a round just saving in order to get the utility, in order to get the rifles.
Wow. That grenade did a lot. Real chance that somebody could have created at the low ground there, but PHR, nice defense. Quad kill on him there. No armor there, so they easily get chewed up. 14-5. What a run they have to go on Virtus Pro. This is the real upside, isn't it? They could make for a historic comeback. surely would be one of the best comebacks of the year if they manage it.
It would have to be. It would be something spectacular. We're still very far away from even talking about it, but this is what they needed. You said just win that one round and see what happens from there. Well, now you've got the AWP in Snatchy's hands. Now you've got the utility in the Molotovs. What can you do with it? Snatchy peering towards Ivy, fortunate to stay alive, fortunate to get away from that one.
Roy ran into a lot of grenades out here, but I don't think they know that he's snuck in here. With the right timing, it could be everything. There's the headshot to take down Snatchy, and that's actually a problem for this 8 defense. Opens up Ivy as well. They're trying to push through. Up on the ground and looking down. Shush does not get the kill. Snacks instead to take him down in 3 versus 2. Mihu put into effect.
Look at Bubsky though. He's kind of taken control of the inner bomb set. He has a chance at taking control at the inner bomb set, I should say. Advanced position, and they're aware. He was spamming the smoke. They know how far up he can be. The bomb is coming in now. He will get it down and planted, but Hunden's gonna have to worry about the flank all by himself. A safe plant, and Bubsky needs one. He needs this kill in CT spawn.
Miho being very careful. The timing working out in favor of Bubsky. Turning it into a 2-1-2. And that flank, I think, yeah, Hunden, he knows. He's looking for it, but walking right into that shot. And Veggie with the follow-up. Virtus.pro still alive. Double for both the remaining players here. That's what was required. Again, some very, very close rounds. They will find a 6-1.
And they've even got the AWP. They saved it. The all-important weapon, but that's going to be something they have to keep track of. That dangerous play from Roy. He'll take the nade damage all day long to get that kind of a map control, that advance into this outer bomb site. At Snatchy wasn't even able to have an impact in the round.
Yeah, there are a bunch of ways that round does not work out in their favor. I think Snatchy got that first kill over by the actual bomb train. If he dies, then it's all going to go horribly wrong. Again, pistols on the Danish side, and
remember as well, we saw this in the semifinal. Tricked got out to some big leads over MIBR, and the comebacks would happen, and then Tricked would just slam the door shut. I believe on the first map of that semi, it was 16-14. It was a comeback all the way before Tricked closed it down. They are no strangers to any kind of comeback scenario.
And I feel like every team at some point in their careers, maybe more than once, has to experience what it's like to not be able to stop the comeback. Like that's valuable experience as well, although it can be painful. Snatchy gets overrun, but luckily got a kill. Veggie doing a fine job at cleaning it up. So they're going to be just fine in this round. That AWP, yeah, they pick it up, no problem. 14-7. Long way to go still.
I think in the previous map we were kind of highlighting, who was it? Was it Bubsky that was having a rough start to the game that bounced back eventually? We have to equally be fair enough to point out Snatchy, 5-20 here on Train, has not found a way to get going. Those op shots we saw in that previous round against just Glocks, it seems like he's hesitating, seems like he's not comfortable.
That obviously has a big impact on the game right now. Lightning fast and usually very, very accurate.
It's not the Snatchy we saw in the semifinal earlier as well against Mousesports. He was destroying them.
Now the good news is, of course, he can rediscover that form from one round to the next. Sometimes all you need is, you know, a couple of round wins or one good engagement, and suddenly you feel it. You feel it again. Making its way back. They had a couple of people down at Ivy, but they've just left Roy there. Are they going to try and let him lurk late as they push B? That can be played. Sort of feels like it. Some grenades. They could probably block out a lot of this B defense, and if the bomb goes down and Roy's back there, that actually is a powerful way to play this round.
Well, yeah. Well, that's, again, another thing that Virtus.pro didn't do in their hits. I talked about it towards the end of the previous half. That one lurk can be so effective, especially with this far back defense. Roy's going to back away from it, but look at how slow progression this is. That's a good flashbang over, but they're behind the smoke. Snacks is ready for that play, but he just moves out perhaps at the exact wrong time, and he's lucky. They spot that jumping over, and now the hit is on, and he's missed 2 up sidewalk. He tries to recover, but it's not in time. It's not quick enough.
They just walked down the ramp. I mean, they had a smoke to create a bit of a gap, but that is so bold. And now the rotation is in. Coming all of them through the CT spawn. Virtus.pro, 4 versus 5. They've had a good string of rounds, but now this is where they need to stand and fight somehow. There's so much time already wasted. They're very, very slow with this. That bomb is ticked for a while. Snatchy, Veggie, Mihu as well. Oh God, they're actually doing it. Eiko goes down and now Roy left in a 1 versus 4. That looks so easy, so clean. And Snatchy with a double. Virtus Pro out of nowhere. How did they make that look so crystal clean? That was, I don't even know what happened.
I don't either. I don't think I heard anyone from Trick even fight back. I don't even think I heard any shots return fire from the T side in the post plant. That was absolutely crazy for how easy they got the bomb site. It was just as easily ripped out of their hands, pried away by Virtus Pro. Still alive somehow in this game, 8-14. And now I think with a win like that and a round like that, Trick starts to feel it. They start to feel the lead slipping away.
Certainly, that's going to be a round to review all on its own. Double up now. Mihu and Snatchy. And Trick thinking, you know what, we did it once, we got in that B-bomb site. We could probably do it again. Good Molotov, but the smoke is out. The lineup and Snacks and PHR. Absolutely no welcome in that B-bomb site for Trick and Snatchy on the other side. Hunden trying to be clever and sneak out, but gets called on that. 9 rounds now for Virtus Pro. Bubsky doing his best. This is great.
It's time for a timeout on the side of Trick. It's time to talk some things over. Maybe in the next round, because I think they're going to go for a half buy here with still 5-round lead to play with, but that's disappearing so quickly. And a strategy like that, trying to blow up through the smoke on lower ramp, a timing pop flash this early in the half, that felt a little bit desperate to me. Obviously, we've seen it be effective, but
I mean, desperate might be the right word. You all almost have it. Still almost have it.
Here's one thing, though, I think they'll go back to and try and exploit. Roy, again, has gotten out of teammate along this wall, and no one has spotted him. No one's aware of the possibility. Oh, he's going to get a double kill. This is unbelievable. Virtus Pro surely can't let it happen here. Veggie, he's got to recover this for his team, but he's trying to back away into safety. He was well overexposed. What an opening, and look how low he is now. 27 HP. Virtus Pro is in danger.
Miho sneaking in with the other AWP, but if he gets close to this corner, if he misses the shot, the Deagle is right there, and Miho connecting. That had to be a kill. Now maybe they've managed to recover. I feel like so many of these rounds, Veggie's so quick to try and bring them back, and he's done so much. Could create a whole highlight reel just of him hitting great shots. Under 50 seconds, Bubsky and Shush. Again, they need some grade 1 dinks here. That CC at a little bit of range, of course it can work, but probably not the favorite weapon. Oh no, the timing, and that's gonna play out. Mihu goes down, 30 seconds. Deep breath on Virtus Pro's side, surely.
Oh, look how afraid Veggie is. He's on top of the train with only 27 HP. They could be at so many different angles. Both defenders are split. Virtus Pro struggle with this on Nuke of finding ways in these 2-on-2s to work together. And Veggie is so alone, and he's got 3 choke points to worry about. Look at him spin, checking each one in turn. It's all down to timing. Bubsky hasn't seen anything. There it is. Veggie spins, and he's got it. He is the one to pull them back from the edge.
That might have been the perfect position for him, which he couldn't have known necessarily, but the timing and everything works out. All the time, right on the edge for VP.
I think if you're Virtus Pro, it doesn't matter who it is, it doesn't matter who tells who. If you are on that defensive team, someone needs to take responsibility for that play from Roy. Someone needs to just say, that's not going to happen again for the rest of this half. If it happens, I'm already dead. But you cannot let that be the opening. That was too easy for Roy.
14-10. Some of these rounds, they're so close.
Look at the mirror image of these halves. Pistol round 1 in the first half by VP. They win the ensuing 2, and they've lost everything since then. Now the pistol round is won by Trick. They win the follow-up round, and everything since then has been won by VP. Dominant defenses, dominant CT sites on train.
Double AWP, all the grenades, Orgs as well. VP have got everything they could possibly want. Roy trying to take that fight. He had the opportunity. That could and maybe should have been a kill, but Veggie very quick once again to get that headshot.
I've been really impressed by Veggie in this Grand Finals.
Yeah. Yeah, another player that we have not heard really about before, but
a great find from the lower levels of Polish Counter-Strike, now delivering here on a big stage.
yeah, already a success story all on his own. PHR is going to say on the high ground up there, that's a bit scary if they actually come for you. And he's fallen back now, which is making me a lot less scared. Back to the B bomb side in a 4 versus 5. This entry on Snatchy, how do you get it? Flashbang is in. He's still alive. Comes back for more, but Acor will take him down. And now PHR, you have to get a kill here. And the spray not connecting. Hunden with a wide peek and the instant headshot of the AK-47. They've brought it so far back, Virtus Pro, but now it's map point and tournament point for Tricked. 15-10. And Virtus Pro take one more step towards the edge.
You can't let that take the wind out of your sails, though. You've been playing so well. You just rattled off 7 straight. You've gotten yourself within striking distance, 5 rounds behind. Tactical being called, as Virtus Pro want to discuss exactly how they want to try and complete this comeback. Now they have to force overtime. If they want a chance at lifting that trophy, it's got to be in the bonus rounds. They've got to get there first, and they still have plenty of money. That's the benefit of how good they were in that 7-round stretch. They have the buffer to lose a round like that and still fight moving forward.
Five rounds straight. They've already proven they can do that, but it is not the same mentally. Fighting to make the full comeback and win it just feels different from actually fighting for overtime.
Yeah, when you're fighting at this point where one mistake can mean that Tricked is the one winning the map, winning the match, lifting the trophy, getting the championship, that's when you get scared to make a mistake. And that's when you also get too scared to make the play that might win the round.
Yeah, that's a good point.
A lot of pressure for the young players on Virtus Pro, who have stepped up monumentally in all these situations that we've seen throughout the playoffs here in Budapest. And now they've got to do it again 5 more times to get to overtime.
Early push, early grenades, expecting a bit of aggression on that B ramp. But none is coming for VP. They're being very careful early on. Another sign that, yeah, nobody wants to make that mistake. A push out, maybe a chance. Roy's still very aggressive. And Snatchy picking up Acor, that's huge.
Oh, good trade from Bubsky, though, and he's actually going to just kind of fall back and go right back up the ladder. Bomb is still very far away. No sign of a commitment yet to either one of these bomb sites. And Roy really wants to pressure out T-Mid.
He's been playing that position aggressively for a while, and honestly, he looks very fluid in this position. It's just that he's run into Veggie a lot, who's been playing a fantastic game. I think otherwise, he might have had even more out of it.
Yeah, well, Veggie's gone now, baby, so Roy, maybe the red carpet's laid out for him. Deep flashbang in. He's still just staying so close. There's a shadow of his teammate's utility. Now he uses his Molotov as well, but he's going to get past it very quick. Up on top, there goes Mihu. What a shot. And Snacks, it's all on him, and he's lining him up. He's got 2. And the defense is going to hold on for the moment. Snatchy down to low HP. It's all on Bubsky. He's got 30 seconds in a 1-on-2.
25 now. No grenades coming either. He's aware that someone could be flanking. They're doing this really well, Virtus Pro. Staying away, waiting for the bomb plant. That's what they should be doing. And he's going to get shot down. Virtus Pro saving the round. Snatchy with a double and low on health. Remember, he had 5 kills. Now he's up to 10.
Yeah.
It's still maybe not enough, but he's starting slowly to warm up.
No, but the impact that AWP can have on the CT side is so critical that you can even forgive a slow T side if he delivers here and gets you into overtime. He still has a part to play in this comeback. 15-11, and we're just trading tactical pauses now. So much on the line for these teams.
The money looking dreadful for the Danish side, and that is great news for VP. If they can, in fact, pick up another round here. Maybe some of them, they're not going to be facing the same heavy artillery that they were earlier.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, that comeback, that 5 rounds, it gets much easier when you get around against Glocks, especially if it's at 15 to 12. See if they can do it. No AWP picked up on the T side for the attack. You can see here, Bubsky for Tricked, 25 and 14. Shush is 22 and 14. It's Veggie leading the way with 21 for Virtus Pro. Live into round 27.
That's pretty aggressive from Bubsky. Is he going to beat the timing? He will, taking down Veggie. No fear at all.
It's 2 rounds in a row now that Veggie has been dropped first for Virtus Pro, and as we just mentioned, he's his top fragger. He's their top fragger. It's a lot of power that's eliminated from the defense, and I like this as well. Tricked, they get that pick with the AWP, and everyone just backs away. Play a 5-on-4, slow it down, make Virtus Pro sweat. Make them make some kind of a information gathering play, an aggressive play that you can punish.
They could give a kill back. Snatchy, oh, quick flick. And Bubsky out of the round. And he again is a 26 kills, so getting rid of him, that's good news.
And now just 2 defenders at each bomb site. Virtus Pro playing it very conservative, not gambling, not stacking anywhere. And Snatchy again with the up, and he's gonna have a chance. A shoulder peek baits out the shot, and oh, that's an actually aggressive follow-up peek from Shush. Could have been punished, but actually, they're gonna go back to the other bomb site. Snacks is here ready and waiting.
They have a bit of time still to work with. Snacks certainly seeing that, but now Roy taking down Mihu. The bomb being planted in front, and it did go down. Snacks at least gets the kill on Hunden. But this is a big problem here. 3-on-3 in that A yard. You need to find a way to get in and defuse that bomb. They have a smoke on Snatchy. That's going to have to go on the bomb somewhere. PHR drops Shush with the kill, but Snatchy trying to keep his game, or trying to keep his team inside. Oh no! Acor with the clock instead. It's 16-11 and Tricked, your champions here in Budapest, taking the first place in V4. They had the smoke, but they could not find any safe ground inside of it. A huge victory for a young team here. I don't even think they can believe it.
Oh, I mean, what a performance on this big stage all day today. First in the semifinals, shocking us with their victory there. And now here in the grand finals and delivering in the third and deciding map with so much pressure on it, delivering that level of play in the opening half. Such a dominant start. And the crazy thing is these young players, we saw them withstand, as we mentioned, the comebacks against MIBR in the semifinals. And this comeback from Virtus Pro is very dangerous here on Train. And the tenacity and the discipline to maintain their focus through all that, it's very impressive.
Oh, it absolutely is. A lot of people, surely myself included, was on board with that VP comeback, and it gets cut short right at the end. They almost made it work, and instead Tricked a lot of names that we are probably going to get even more familiar with in the future. What a fantastic lineup.
Yeah, well, I mean, also vindication for the hard work they've put in over time. And probably to talk about it a little bit more, we've got Paul on the stage.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fantastic V4 tournament. One more time, please, for Virtus Pro and Tricked. We are going to make some presentations, including obviously crowning the champion here at V4 for 2019, but we also have the MVP award as well. So most valuable player of the tournament. Here to present the award is Laszlo Fekete, Colonel of the Hungarian Defence Force. Thank you, Colonel. The winner then for the MVP of V4 Future Sports Festival 2019 from Tricked, Bubsky. Ladies and gentlemen, our MVP, Bubsky. Well done, Bubsky. Yep, take your place back with your team. Thank you, Colonel. It's still raining. That's brilliant. I love it. In second place, our team, of course, to present medals here is Daniel Hodoshin of the Vice President of Esport Miller. Let's welcome him to the stage. And our runners-up, Virtus Pro, ladies and gentlemen. The V4 runners-up once more, Virtus Pro. And our champions for the V4 2019. The presentation will be made by the president of Esport Miller, which is Balash Biro. Please welcome to the stage. The gold medals being presented to Tricked. Gents, do you want to come forward and claim what is rightfully yours here at the front of the stage? Come and collect the trophy, it's all yours. Ladies and gentlemen, the champions of V4 2019, it is Tricked!
The champions that tricked us all. Not someone we expected to be at the top at the start of this event just 4 days ago, but what a journey they have achieved, and what an accomplishment it is. NIP, MIBR, Mouse Sports, they'll all leave with their tails between their legs, but man, oh man, holding that head high will be none other than Hunden and the squad he has assembled.
Yeah, I mean, they were by far the better team today. They were by far the best team if you look at it overall, I'd say. You can only beat who's in front of you. The only team they weren't able to beat were Mouse Sports, but had they played like they did today against Mouse Sports, they probably would have beaten them so as well. So Trick, they won. You know, they did it in style and very impressive.
They made it a little hard in the end. They could have made train a lot easier, obviously, but let's not take anything away. They definitely got to prove themselves. Roy apparently with his first LAN experience, and he gets to lift the trophy. That's pretty cool. Not a lot of kids get to do that on their first try.
Yeah, unbelievable. And he was a big part of that on train, especially. He was very good at getting trade kills. He wasn't always a multi-kill player. He wasn't always the most efficient player.
Yeah.
But he absolutely obligated his role.
Somehow managing to get through team main to 6 and 5 lane, getting a couple of kills here and there. A lot of entry power.
Before we get too far with Tricked, we also have to consider the Virtus Pro, and you can see their biggest fan there in the front of the stage, Cuban, even saying thank you to him. The fans certainly behind VP, but what a return to form for them. Something hopefully we can see more of from this organization.
I'd hope so, right? Because what we've seen from VP in this tournament have been, I would say, somewhat decent. It's been better than expected. We've seen, some of the players that we expected years ago to come through. Mihu, for example, he had a great tournament. Snatchy had moments where he was showing off in the final, especially on train. He wasn't really hitting the shots right, but that happens sometimes. So overall, I think VP can be proud of what they've done, and I think it's a good sign for the future as well that we have a polished squad back on top. Let's not forget that we also had a polished squad away from this tournament, winning a tournament somewhere in the world as well. So, we've been asking for the polished teams to come back for quite some time, and now they finally did it.
And I think it is a matter of time because, again, we talked about it, touched on it with Pasha, a stranglehold on the scene of so many teams or so many players locked out from Virtus Pro dominating for so long. Now we're getting through to that next level and we're seeing the progress being made. I think that Snacks is certainly someone that can take the helm on this team. I also think that it's beneficial for them and everyone in this tournament for that matter that it was all best of threes because we saw the struggles on Mirage. I don't think it was just 2 off games. I think it was cobwebs or growing pains. I think it was a matter of figuring out the form. Look how much better they played it the last 3 times they touched it in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the only half that I can think of throughout this tournament that was a little flat for them was that first half on train in this final.
Sure.
Otherwise, I felt like they kept improving each time they played, and they were doing the small things right. They were playing the 3-on-3 situations really, really well, obviously communicating really well, and just playing off of one another, which is the basic things in Counter-Strike that you need to do well, and usually the things that the tier 2 and tier 3 teams falter on.
Well, and hopefully we see more, like I say, but Tricked Bubsky, got to touch on him, MVP, rightfully so. He came in as the one to watch on that team. Stush had amazing tournament as well. I thought Acor showed huge potential on the op, but ultimately it was Bubsky that was Mr. Consistent and definitely super accurate with the rifle.
I think it's fair enough that he gets awarded the MVP. He had a great tournament. We even saw in the final, right, he had a half where he wasn't hitting anything on Nuke. Believed it was the T half. He ended on 3 frags. Still fought back, still showed some resilience. So this kid is a great player. He was playing in Fraxis before, as I said. He also showed some potential in there. Now, finally, it seems like he's found a home where he can grow as a player as well. Let's not forget the Tricks. Is it a month or 2 months ago that Burrup was bought out of their lineup from Heroic, moving up in the ranks, apparently. Not so sure about that anymore. I think he's a little bit, iffy at home. Maybe he
pull the Kirby, maybe.
Pull the Kirby, maybe. But that's the impressive thing about Trick, right? No matter what happens within the food chain in Danish Counter-Strike, they'll always be down there. At least that's been the case for the past 2 years. Yet they still make it work. You gotta give a lot of credit to Hunden as well. He's the one facilitating the players, and I think he's done a good job.
Well, that's the interesting thing with this Trick lineup, because oftentimes when you see the tier 2 teams, which we have to say these guys still are, sure, they just won an event and there's massive potential, but they still are. You often see 1 or 2 players that are leaps and bounds above everybody else. And usually what we say is, wow, that's a kid that has a future on a Na'Vi, or in this case, maybe a North or an Astralis. It's someone who's going to go somewhere. In this case, I think all 5 deserve credit at various points. I think all 5 had moments of brilliance.
Yeah, I feel like the Danish scouts are going to be once again with their alarms on, alarm bells ringing. Oh, look at these kids, they're really good. Should we consider picking them up? But I hope this lineup actually sticks together because they were playing super well. And it was not only like one individual or another that was doing everything. I felt like it was the composition of these individuals that really made them shine.
It must make you a proud, Pimp, as a Dane to see so much depth in the talent pool.
I'm a little jealous.
I mean, we've been knowing it for always, right? The fact that I'm not playing on one of these teams says quite a lot. There's a lot of talent,
I mean, you also got cut from a North American team, so don't get too far ahead of yourself.
I was never cut. I left myself. Anyway, you're right. There's a lot of talent, and even more so than this Trick lineup. Even the 6th, 7th, 8th best team in Denmark have some players that potentially could play on a Trick level or Heroic for that matter as well. Just to touch upon it as well, I don't think Trick should be worried about anyone poaching their players right now. I think that this lineup, as a core, as you said, they realize that together we work well. If you take out Akor, if you take out Bubsky, bring him on another team like Borup did with Heroic, that hasn't really worked out just yet. So I think these guys are realizing that together we're strong, and as long as they can keep this core of players, I think Trick has a future within the Counter-Strike world.
Well, gentlemen, it's been fun. It's been a great week of Counter-Strike, of seeing new players. Avocado